Hello, everyone. My name is Tejas, and I'll be presenting our presentation for the TheClaimHub project. So first, let's dive into the problem. The problem is basically that hospitals and clinics around the world are receiving many patients each day. And as a result, each of these patients, if they have insurance, have to submit basically like a claim every single day. So the process of submitting claims is tedious because each insurance provider has their own platform. So that means hospitals or clinics have to go to each website individually, submit the claim at the end of the week or so. And the same goes for deleting claims, managing claims, updating any claim-related tasks is very tedious because you have to go to individual platforms to have that done. So what are we doing and how does our application work to solve that problem? So our application is basically a claim hub, and we're connecting hospitals or clinics with insurance providers. So hospitals and insurance providers alike will be able to create an account under under the company that they represent. So on our website, they'll be able to choose if they're a hospital or an insurance, and they'll be able to do any claim-related tasks on one platform really easily. So on our platform, claims can be viewed or created, and there's also a lot of information that gets stored about each claim, such as the patient, the insurance, the hospital, the costs, and such and such. And each of these claims can be commented on, they can be deleted or have their status updated. And our platform can also be populated with patients or medical procedures to make the claim submittal process easier. So let's talk about our application functionality. I'm just going to read through this list. So basically, users can select the insurance or hospital company to represent, and they can create a new one if theirs is not already on that list. Users can add patients and medical procedures, and they could also delete them. Users can maintain their account by logging in, logging out, changing password, or deleting their profile. And users can search or view any claims that are part of their organization. And I'll get back into this later. Users can create new claims for their organization. Users can update status, comment, or delete claims. And that we also have something called an admin user, which I'll get into later, which can view search history, edit logs, and feedback for all users. And I have a couple of screenshots of that, but we'll go into the demo in a bit. Let's talk about the application architecture. So our architecture is basically the simple three-tier architecture. And you can see that on the diagram on the left, we have Jinja templating, which is a templating engine for the front end, along with HTML and Bootstrap CSS. In the back end, we have a Flask web framework and Python. For the database, we're using MySQL. Now let's talk about major design decision. So we had two major design decisions. I'll go over database first. So for the database, some key changes and designs that we had made were we ran into some problems regarding how logs should be held because we felt that was a security concern. And even if users delete their profile, the log should be maintained, right? So we had to remove the foreign key relationship between the user and the log so that regardless of what the user does with their profile, the log will always be untouched. And we also added asset property and transactions in many areas. So for example, when creating an insurance or hospital, only one could be used at a time. One could be created at a time because we were using last insert ID, and that can cause problems if you have multiple transactions happening at once. So you can see in the image on the right, we're using the try and except, and we're using connection.autocommit equals false, indicating that any auto commits won't be happening and only the commit that we're executing in this try block will be working. We also have many design decisions for security and confidentiality. View and access control was one of the big things. So hospitals will only be able to see and create claims for their hospital, and same for insurance providers. And we also have, as I mentioned before, we have features in place to capture and log any edits. And we also have a variety of things that only the admin user can see to protect the security of the platform. I'll go into the demo right now. Okay, so let's jump into the demo. So first off, we're greeted by a login page. Let's go ahead and, I don't have an account. So let's go to the sign up page, add my details. And this sign up form is completely authenticated and it has input validation, so you won't be able to enter email that's already existing in the database, and it's going to confirm that the password and the second password are the same. And then we're prompted to select one of the following, either insurance provider or hospital. Let's go ahead and select one of them, insurance provider. And here we have several different insurance providers. Let's go ahead and select one of them. And we also have the option, if we don't see our insurance company in this list, to add a new one. So let me just show you guys that real quick. So yeah, when we add a new insurance company, we just provide these details and we should be able to add a new one. But for now, I'm just going to select Aetna, click submit. Okay, awesome. So the account was created successfully and we are logged in as Tejas, which is my username. On the home page, we see that the insurance provider that we are logged in as. On the nav bar, we have a search bar with a search filter. And then we have our profile and we also have a logout button. On the profile page, we have the ability to change password or delete profile. And it also shows various information about our account. And then on the home page, we also have 4 different links here. We have a link for the info page, claims page, patients, and procedures. The info page basically just gives information about the application, and we could also submit a feedback form. So let me just do that. I think this application is great. Click submit. Awesome, the feedback was received. Next, in the patients form, we see a list of all the patients, their ID, name, date of birth, and contact. And we also have the ability to add a patient. So if I were to add a patient, we can say, let's put my name as a patient, and I'll just put a random date of birth. And then I'll put my phone number, just a random number. Go ahead and add patient, and we can see at the bottom here, I was added under patient ID 38. Let's go back. We also have a similar thing for procedure, where we have a list of all the procedures. We can go ahead and add a procedure as well. Let's just say test surgery sample and a procedure cost of $1,000. We could add procedure. We can see this was added also as procedure number 38. We could see all that information here. Okay, and now let's dive into the primary functionality of this application. Let's go to the claims page. Here we're going to see a list of all of the claims that are specific to my insurance type. So all the claims that are specific to Aetna. We have various functionalities on this page. We have a sort by, oldest and newest. We can also add a claim. And for each and every claim, we have various information about it. We can click on more info to get more info. We could also update the status. Currently it's rejected, but we can change it to pending, rejected, or approved. And we could add a comment. So let's try all these features real quick. So first of all, let's update a status. Currently it's rejected. Let's change it to approved. First of all, I want to get the claim ID number. So ID is 23. Let's remember that because since this is sorting by oldest, it might shuffle around a bit. So let's change this from rejected to approved. Let's search up using the ID filter, ID 23. And boom, we can see the same claim, but now it's been approved. Let's go ahead and add a comment as well. Demo comment. Search up ID 23 once again. And in comments, we should be able to see the comment that we made along with my username and a timestamp of the comment. Awesome. So let's look into the sort by feature. So we can sort by oldest, and we can see that this is increasing the date for each claim. We can also sort by newest. We can see it goes backwards, so it starts on November 2024, and when we see all the other claims. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's try the add a claim feature. We can, we can refer to the patient and procedure page to get that. So we can do patient 1, procedure 1, the sample date here, hospital name. We can select any one of these hospitals. And the insurance name is defaulted to the insurance name that we're currently signed under. So because we're an insurance and we're signed up under Aetna, it's going to default to Aetna. We can put 500, we can put 1000, say demo. And yeah, the claim was added. Should be able to see at the very bottom, UCLA, right here. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. let me go and show you another one of our features. So because security is such a big concern for us, we also have an admin page that tracks various activity for each of the users. So let me delete this profile and let me create a new one with username admin this time. So this is a special functionality where if you have a username of admin, you have access to a special page. And these can be anything because the admin has access to all information. So yeah, if you're logged in as admin, then you have access to an admin page. On the admin page, you can see edit history, search history, as well as user feedback. So let's go to admin page edit history. We can see all the edits we made. So even though our account is deleted, we are still able to see that even though the initial account we made is deleted, we're still able to see that user Tejas Kulkarni changed claim ID 23 status, and user Tejas Kulkarni created a new claim ID with ID 1014, and it gives the full date and timestamp, which we can see here is correctly matching that. We can also see search history. Remember how we searched for ID number 23 twice on this particular date and time? We can see that Tejas Kulkarni has done that, and the feedback history. And now let's look at claims. So because they're an admin, they have access to all claims, regardless of what their account type is or like what insurance provider they're logged in under. So they have access to all the claims. And because we have a lot of claims fed into our database, you can see that there's page 1 of 102, and you can go to the next few pages, and there's plenty of pagulation there. And yeah, you have all the same functionality, except you're able to see all the claims, and you have special access with viewing other users' information. So yeah, let me just go through the search functionality as well. So we have all these options. We can do Stanford Hospital, search. And yeah, all the claims with hospital as Stanford show up. And we can do insurance as Aetna, search. And it doesn't show the insurance, but we can see that all of these have Aetna insurance. We can verify that from the database. And finally, let's search patient. Let's say Bob. I'm not sure if there's a Bob, but we can try. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and we can see all the patient names with Bob. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. And back to... Okay, let's jump back into the presentation. So what are some challenges we faced? We actually faced a lot of challenges while working on this project. One was the big thing, which was designing the application to work for both hospitals and insurance companies. So we didn't have just one sort of user base, we had two. And so we had to do a lot of view control and make sure that, you know, what the hospitals are seeing is completely different from what the insurance companies are seeing. And getting that to sync up was kind of a challenge. Another thing was maintaining user sessions. That was a big thing. So in our sign up process, you know how we have the sign up form, and then after that we have the select insurance name form. And if you don't do that, then we have a create new insurance name form. So that was difficult because we had to pass on the information. We didn't want to sign the user in right when they did the form, right? We wanted to keep the session, pass it on. And then at the end, when they finally selected everything, then we wanted to commit it to our database. So maintaining that was a bit difficult, but we got it to work. And what are our next steps? So next steps would definitely be adding a lot more features. So one of which would be the ability for insurance companies to actually interact more with the claims than simply just adding comments or changing the status. So that would mean like being able to maybe download them as an Excel or upload documents to our platform. And another change we would make is we would plan to take steps towards helping both parties manage data. So yeah, like I mentioned, exporting claims to a file or making mass edits. And another feature that we would add would having like another view. So we have insurance and we have hospitals, but another view for patients. And patients would be able to view only their claims, and they would be able to, you know, request changes and whatnot. And finally, I know UI and UX was a big thing that we were lacking on in this project, and that would definitely be a necessary step in the future. Thank you so much.